It began with a glance, not from her, from him. Across the dinner table, through the clatter of cutlery and the syrup-sweet laughter of my family, my brother's eyes met hers for a moment far too long. The kind of stare that hums beneath the skin. This was supposed to be my engagement dinner. I hadn't even touched my drink. My throat felt sandpaper dry. My brother, a simple gate guard? Who would ever want him? Ramps chuckled, smirking. The whole room erupted, teeth flashing, tongues loose, wine spilling. My mother shrieked louder than anyone. He's the disgrace of this family. Could have been anything. Chose to rot guarding a housing gate. My brother only smiled. That same hollow smile he'd worn since father died. The bride, Major Ariba Malik, rose with slow, deadly control, perfectly polished, decorated, every hair frozen in place. She turned toward the table, looking only at me. "Actually," she said, slicing the room in half with her voice. My mother froze. Wed collapsed right onto the Persian rug, and I just stared while he fell. They told me it was low blood pressure, or maybe he was overwhelmed standing among better people. I nodded. I agreed. I helped lift him up. But I noticed her fingers linger on his wrist a heartbeat too long when no one else was watching. Saw the tiny twitch in his eyelids when she murmured something only he could hear. And suddenly I remembered that look, the exact same one I gave her 6 months ago when we first met at that military fundraiser. The look that whispers, "I've seen you somewhere, and I haven't stopped remembering." Only now, that look didn't belong to me anymore. Later that night, I stood outside Wed's apartment, watching the lights flicker on, then off, then on again, like someone pacing, like someone drowning in guilt. Ariba never came home. I didn't call. I didn't question. I just waited. The next morning, I mailed a sample of my brother's comb to a private Islamabad lab. Paranoid? Maybe. But I knew I wasn't wrong. That same afternoon, I hacked into Ariba's cloud. She once handed me her phone for a photo. I never forgot her 4-digit passcode. Muscle memory acts strangely when your heart is breaking. Screenshots, call logs, one picture, just one. My brother in uniform, smiling wider than I'd ever seen him, her hand gripping his collar, taken 3 weeks before I proposed. That night, I sat across from my mother as she complained about the napkin folds for the mehndi. "Your brother will be lucky if he even attends the wedding. You'll have to buy him clothes. Poor thing can't afford them." I nodded calmly, sipped tea, forced my hands not to shake. But inside, something hardened, silent, empty, freezing. The envelope arrived sealed. No logo, no sender. Just numbers. 99.97% probability. Same father. Different mothers. Same DNA. Except, I wasn't the one she'd been with. She had known the truth all along. And she chose me. For what? Revenge? Convenience? Pity? I didn't ask. Instead, I printed the photo of them and placed it inside a small black box. At dinner the next evening, I slid the box toward her. Ariba looked at it, still as stone. She didn't open it at first. She already knew. I said nothing. When she finally lifted the lid, her face didn't shift, but her breath did. Wed looked between us. Then he saw the photo. And right then I knew. He had never expected me to find out. His skin drained of color. He didn't faint this time, just whispered, "You weren't meant to learn the truth like this." My mother leaned in. "Learn what?" I smiled for the first time in days and said, "Apparently, our gate guard has been guarding more than just a gate." 2 days later, the wedding hall gleamed with velvet and disgrace. Just before the vows, I walked onto the stage and grabbed the mic. Not a murmur from the crowd. Even the drums stopped mid-beat. Ariba stood in her red bridal dress, eyes rimmed in black. Wed hid behind a pillar in a borrowed suit. I didn't shout, didn't rage. I simply recited dates, times, names, photos. Then I held up the envelope. DNA, I said, for anyone who values truth over tradition. My mother gasped like I'd set fire to scripture. Ariba lowered her eyes, then raised them, then lowered them again. Wed tried to step forward. One gesture from me made him freeze. You'll both be fine, I said. You're perfect for each other. Then I looked at the audience and added, and I deserve peace. I walked off stage, and no one dared follow. I moved out that night. No address. No explanations. My mother called once. I blocked her. Ariba sent an email. 3 lines. No apology, just excuses. I didn't read past the first word. Wed stood outside my new gate 3 days later in uniform, unashamed. I watched through the curtain, then turned away. I had nothing left for him. He already took the one thing I gave freely to the world, trust. Now I lock it away, the same way he hid his secrets. And I guard my gate better than he ever guarded anyone else's.